made my mind up. I'm going to do everything I can not to cut you off, Malcolm.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm the Wolfman, Awards Wolf today. Today I'm joined by one familiar face and one new face on the channel that y'all haven't seen here before yet, but he is a really good friend of mine as well, and I've worked with him several times. I'm, of course, Dan Skip Allen, as we've had on here several times, and the new person, which is Malcolm Lay. Good to have you on here, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here. Like, it's one of those ones like when it comes, I don't know why, but I'm always more fascinated by the song and score categories. Like any feels like, so I will, like any chance to talk about them. I always like do it.
Oh yeah, no, I've always loved score, original song. I've always thought, like, to me, I'm like, it's a movie award show. We're awarding songs. Like, come on. My biggest issue with it, though, I'm fine with the original song category now, but I just don't like how they dedicate it, like, half the show to just doing performances from those. Because it's just like, they're always complaining about, oh, we're making our broadcast too long. We're making this and this too long. And I'm like, if you cut out the performances, then that already would save you, like, a bunch of time. Like, you would just have, it would be a much shorter show, like, just without those performances. So, But what do you think, Dad? It's good to have you here too, buddy.
Well, I mean, the problem is the moment of the entire ceremony last year was one of the song performances, because it was a landslide for Oppenheimer, but it was Barbie that had the viral moment. So kind of
although the one that won wasn't even that song last year.
You're right. It wasn't. It was a song from the film. It was a different song from the film. But yeah, I think they like to break up the monotony of just handing out trophies and people's talking with a song or two or something, some kind of a montage of this person's career or whatever. So that's, I think the songs have a purpose, and especially in some years, there are some iconic songs that have songs that we will remember the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? That have won. So that are tied to a specific movie or whatever. So it's tough. It's tough. I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that, I think the other thing is, like, especially if you get people like, say, Taylor Swift gets nominated. Not that I'm saying Taylor Swift has a nomination possibility this year, but yeah, like when you got some of these big names performing, you might get some people like, you know, I'll watch it for Taylor Swift too, because she's performing, or I'll watch it for Ariana Grande or something like that. So,
Billie Eilish twice.
Yeah, and a lot of times they'll also find a way, like, original song, I always feel, has some surprises we don't expect. Like, no one expected the Ballad of Buster Scruggs song to get in there at that.
There is always a surprising song. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think The Killers of the Flower Moon was last year's surprise.
Yeah, that was last year's surprise song, but that was a surprise that I got in, and that's what I'm saying. Like, every single time, it seems to be at least one surprise original song thrown in there. But
as Malcolm well knows, the song I wanted for Diane Warren last year didn't get in, so I was a little upset about that.
But Diane Warren has
Malcolm, I'm not going to bring that back up. I'm just joking with you guys.
Diane Warren does have a slot this year for the 6th.
It's 4 others in Diane Warren. We know that. We know. I just got the wrong Diane Warren song last year, right, Malcolm? But there's the whole thing. This is a whole running thing with me and Malcolm for the Diane Warren song last year, because I predicted a totally different song all year long. I was like, come on, and it never happened. So Malcolm, give me credit.
I'm still yet to see that movie too, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
I don't think the only Diane Warren song one I watched was 80 for Brady. That was the one I ended up.
That's one thing on to win last year.
That's the one Malcolm hasn't seen. And I was beating it from all year long. I was. And it died a slow death last year.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so that's what we're going to tackle for you guys. We're going to look over the Hollywood Music and Media Awards. So before we get into that, as y'all see, Ross isn't with me today. He is under commission. He just got surgery and everything, so he's just kind of recovering. And I told him, rest up, and he'll be on next week. So it's us three tonight. This should definitely be a fun show. But we got the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, and I'm going to try to share my screen here if possible to look over the nominees. Just a minute. And bam. That should be working. All right. Are y'all able to see that?
Not yet.
Got nothing.
Okay. Sometimes it glitches up on my screen. That's what I was asking.
Oh, there you go.
Boom. Okay. So, yeah, it says that Hollywood Music and Media Awards noms led by Amelia Perez and Blitz, with Elton John, Hans Zimmer, and scores more among the nominees. So, and we're gonna tackle all the categories because I know there was one in best independent film. I know there was one that Malcolm wanted to talk about, but for song for feature film, the nominees we have is Winter Coat from Blitz, Compress Repress from Challengers, El Malf from Amelia Perez, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez, Forbidden Road from Better Man, Purion from The Goat Life, never even heard of that movie, and then Idea of You from The Idea of You, then The Journey, Diane Warren, of course, from The 688, and Out of Oklahoma for you country folks, for Twisters. So what do y'all think of that first batch of nominees there? For we'll start off with you, Dan.
Yeah, I thought the Twister song was catchy. I remember the song from Blitz, very good song. The songs in Amelia Perez are good. I mean, it's more the choreography and how they're set up that was catchy for me when I was watching Amelia Perez. I mean, I haven't seen the Diane Warren one, the movie 888 yet. Whatever, that hasn't come out yet. I don't think. I don't believe, has it? 888 or whatever.
It's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out in December, though. It is coming out in December. So
yeah. I'll probably get a screener of it. So I don't know what that song. is. Compress Repress, I just don't know what that is from Challengers. I'll be honest. I'm not up to date on the songs as much as Malcolm probably is, because
it's the one that it only played in the credits. That's a lot of things with these kind of films is like they play in the credits, and a lot of those it's like people walk out during the credits, so they don't even really get to hear the song most of the time.
Yeah, but I do remember the Oklahoma one, and I do remember the Blitz one, and I do remember the Amelia Perez ones, and they're good songs. Look, it's just a travesty that that these people haven't been able to see, like Moana or Wicked doesn't have original songs, because I think this list could be filled with some other contenders. And obviously, Will and Harper's not in here, but I guess it can't be in this category.
Well, it has. Yeah, they have one for documentary film.
Okay, yeah,
that we'll get into as well.
And they have one for animated too, which is what.
Okay, so that's why.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, makes sense. But But that's my 2 cents on it.
And I would say the one snub here is Like a Bird from Sing Sing. That one didn't come in there, which is like the one that plays during the credits and everything. But what do you think of this Malcolm?
Yeah, I listened to all these, or the ones I could listen to. The song from Better Man is not actually on Spotify yet, so I couldn't listen to it. But I mean, that's one that honestly, like, Robbie Williams is a big name. I wouldn't be surprised if he does get the Oscar nomination for that. Though, it's like, and same with, like, and The Journey is actually a pretty good song. I actually quite like it. Like, I don't know much about her who's singing it, but as we said, it's a Diane Warren song. Like, there's a high probability that it could get in. So yeah, especially if the movie's coming out in December. And honestly, I mean, it's one of those ones like I'd like to see more of the ones where like it's the actual singers singing, like the Blitz one. I would love to see Saoirse Ronan get up and actually sing it on stage too. So, but it's a good batch. Like and the Tristers one, like honestly, it was a nice surprise. I know that when Austin's, I haven't seen Tristers yet, but I know when Austin saw it, he didn't like the music. But I don't think he's a big modern country guy, and I think if one of the Amelia Perez songs gets into thing, it's probably more likely the Selena Gomez one over the Zoe Saldana one, but they're both like catchy in that. So
yeah, I haven't seen Amelia Perez yet. I'm seeing it tomorrow when it drops on Netflix, but I will say that El Mal, apparently, from what I've heard, people were saying it's actually like not that good of a song. It's just very like fast paced and kind of like the super catchy kind of like sporadic kind of song. And Mi Camino is the one that's more of your emotional kind of song from Selena Gomez. So that's kind of what I've heard, which makes me think, they love like Dos Oruguitas from Encanto. Remember, they didn't even nominate the We Don't Talk About Bruno. They nominated the Dos Oruguitas because that was more of the emotional driven kind of song. So that's why I think Mi Camino would probably get in over El Mal if they did that. And then as far as the other ones, I love the Saoirse Ronan song and Blitz. I think that is a strong chance because I think one thing the Academy loves is to get big stars on their stage to perform. And I think just the idea of Saoirse Ronan coming up there to sing that, I think would be like, especially knowing she's probably going to be a nominee, whether it's for Blitz or the Outrun, just knowing that she's having a nominee come up there to sing would also be pretty cool. So some of these I haven't heard, like of course Forbidden Road. I haven't heard the Diane Warren song yet, but some of these other ones are good. But those are the ones I feel like have the best competition in here. Moving on to best song animated film, we've got Double Life from Despicable Me 4. We have Beyond from Moana 2. There's a Moana 2 one. From Moana 2. I like the name of that song. Kiss the Sky, which is also in competition for my favorite original song of this year. From The Wild Robot. And then Just As You Are from Thelma the Unicorn. So what do y'all think of that category? And we'll start with Malcolm this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to the animated category, I think there are a lot of the obvious like ones like Moana 2, like having 2 songs in there. I don't see them both getting into animated. I listened to Beyond. It's a really good song. It's definitely the How Far You Can Go song from Moana. Like the whole catchy kind of song. So that's the one I could probably get in. But The other one is most likely going to be a nice, catchy Dwayne Johnson song. The Moana 2 soundtrack isn't on Spotify yet, so I couldn't listen to them all. Double Life is catchy. It's pretty much in that same like happy vein and all that. I do like the other ones. They're just not for me. The one I'm surprised didn't get in. Although in saying that, it's probably on the in documentary is Piece by Piece, because but once again, I think that might be actually in documentary. I know I was looking at it and remember seeing it somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, it probably popped up in there because they probably were like, well, we could put it in documentary. We don't have to put it in animated, so they probably made a decision that way. But,
yeah. And actually, the other one I was actually going to mention.
These ones. I have Inside Out 2? No, that did not get in for animated song. Or best. Did that have an original song though? I don't remember.
No, I don't know. That was kind of my questions. I don't know if it did have an original song, but
unless I'm missing something.
Most Disney movies tend to do though. I was surprised about it.
Yeah. Some of these, the only ones I've not heard the Moana 2 songs yet, but I have heard Beyond is pretty much how far I'll go. The only one I've heard in this category, because I've not seen Despicable Me 4, so I haven't heard Just As You Are, but Kiss the Sky, it's one of those examples where it doesn't play in the credits. It plays like in a very tearjerker kind of emotional scene. And so I feel people are kind of underestimating this song. I've not seen really anyone put it in the top 5 for best original song. And I'm sitting there saying, don't underestimate it. It is like the tearjerker moment of The Wild Robot. All right. So just letting you know, like I feel like because it plays in the movie, that helps it rather than just being in the credits type of song. What are you, Dan? What do you think?
Yeah, you said a lot there, Wolf. I think the Wild Robot song is incredible. I haven't obviously seen Moana, and I haven't been able to listen to the song, so I don't know yet. I haven't seen Thelma the Unicorn. Doesn't seem like that would be my cup of tea. But that's Kiss the Sky. What a moment that was in the movie, and it's an emotional song. So right now, that one looks like that could win this category. Because it's basically the one I've seen. I've seen Despicable Me 4, but I'm not a fan of that movie that much, so music really didn't resonate with me that much.
Yeah, those songs are just or those movies. I mean, are just not my jam. They're Despicable Me ones. But yeah, Piece by Piece is here. So for song, documentary, film. We have Pain Has a Purpose from Americans with No Address. Never heard of that one. We have Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. Oh, shoot. Knowing that that's an actual thing. Oh, nobody is putting that in their best original song category. But I'm like looking at that. Like they would want Elton John at the Oscars. I just realized that. Like that might be something we have to consider. Shoot.
I mean, I think he's
Miss Curato. Oh, he's retired from like
singing I think
music, or
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Oh, okay. Because it said I know he had his farewell tour, but I didn't know if it was like he was never going to perform again. But I know it's written by Elton John, but it's performed by John and Carly. So they probably wouldn't even have Elton John on stage to sing it anyways. And then we have Miss Cuatro Letras, which is from Night Is Not Eternal. No, it is not eternal. And then Piece by Piece from Piece by Piece. We have Growing Up is for Losers from Red Herring, and then Harper and Will Go West from Will and Harper. So,
I could talk about
yeah.
these. I could talk about 2 of these. Piece by Piece, that's not even the best song in the movie. Malcolm, have you seen Piece by Piece yet?
It hasn't released here yet.
Okay. There's another song in the movie, Malcolm, that's better than Piece by Piece. It's like they're going to nominate the song based on the name of the film. That's not even that to me. That's not the best song in the movie. There was another song in the movie, and I forget the name of it right now off the top of my head, that I like better than Piece by Piece. It's a good song. Don't get me wrong. I'm not crapping on the song, but I think because it has the name of the movie in it, they put Piece by. There's a second song in the middle of the movie that's really good. Will and Harper, I got this song all the way. I want to see Kristen Wiig on a stool with a guitar with nothing but black around her singing that song, or have a screen with like scenes from the documentary in the background or something. That needs to happen. The regional guilds have got to push this song, and like they did RRR. God, I want to see this song nominated for an Oscar so bad you have no idea. All right, that's my 2 cents.
I feel that. Malcolm, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, like what the song from William Harper, I think was is quite good, and I didn't realize Kristen Wiig could sing that well. To be honest, like I know I like her acting. I just don't didn't know she could sing. But the one that I'm kind of questioning, because is the Elton John songs. I don't know how it got nominated, because it's actually technically not original, because he wrote that song for the Lion King 2019 remake. So so I don't know how it's got nominated here for being in this documentary, which and I like Elton John. I think he's good, and I do like the song. I just don't think it should be nominated. It's not an original song, and that's kind of what I don't understand. Because and it actually is performed by Elton John and Carly, because they just put the last names of the 2 performers. But yeah.
Well, I think the thing is looking at it, like at least on Variety. I don't know what it looks like on the actual website for the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, but at least on Variety, they don't title them as original this or original that.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then fair enough. But
yeah, because it does say song documentary film, so it doesn't say like original song documentary film.
I mean,
so
it's one of those ones. I'm looking on the Wikipedia page for Hollywood Music and Media. They say original song on that, so I don't know if it's whoever edited the Wikipedia mistake. I don't know.
Yeah, I there's really no telling, but we'll I guess if we looked up more information about it, we could figure it out. But but that is interesting. Yeah, for me, I've only heard 2 of these. Yeah, I listened to the Piece by Piece song. Haven't gotten even around to seeing Piece by Piece yet. It's one I am going to be seeing this month for catch up time, but I haven't even gotten around to seeing the movie yet. But the song, yeah, it's honestly kind of terrible. I didn't like the song at all. I thought it was not good. It is not like a happy. I was like,
movie. Wolf, go listen to the other song in the movie and I can't for the life of me think of what it is right now, but it's way better.
Yeah, I just because that one, it's unfortunate too that the Oscars have a thing where it's like with international, where they will submit songs to be nominated. I think so. It's like they have to submit certain songs, I believe, and I think they submitted Piece by Piece, and that was it. They didn't submit the other one. And then Harper and Will Go West, agreed with you completely, Dan. I love this song. It needs to get in there, and it's one that plays during the credits, but it's like different because when it plays, they do the thing where the movie's still going in the credits. You know, they still have clips going and all that kind of stuff. So it feels like a nice little montage that you get there at the end. And it's a nice little surprise because they mentioned that earlier in the documentary, talking to Kristen Wiig about if she can make the theme song for them or whatever. And then
don't give it away.
Ends, you're like, wait,
the movie.
I mean, it's a documentary. I'm not
never got to hear the song.
All right.
Yeah.
It's let's put it this way. You're laughing at the movie the whole time while you're watching it because she's not picking up the phone, and it's funny as hell. And then out of nowhere, boom, you get hit by this, and you're like, oh my God. And then I'm just bawling like a freaking baby.
But I will say, we'll get to it when we get to the Critics' Choice documentary. But I will say, if Willem Harper gets nominated in the documentary, that might help the song's chances to get in as well. So
good.
I do think that is a possibility that can definitely help there. Then for song independent film, this is the one I'll let Malcolm go first on because he talked about there was one on here that I really want to talk about. The songs are We Sabi We or Why Sabi Why, whichever way you pronounce it, from African Giants. And then we got City of Dreams from City of Dreams. Hold On to the Dream from, I'm going to pronounce this. I'm mispronounce this name terribly. I'm sorry, guys. Ka Wafwai Tanu. Ka Wafwai Tanu. This is what it says. So, Struggle Without an End. That's the name of the movie. Never even heard of it.
I will. You were close. If you allow me, it's Ka Wafwai Tanu. I probably butchered it myself, but it's Maori, so yeah.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, first I've ever heard of that film, and then Right Where You Ought to Be from Kim Kahana, the man who changed Hollywood, and then finally two I actually know of movies and songs I know: The Creatures of Nature from Sasquatch Sunset, and then Beautiful That Way from The Last Showgirl, which I got to see at the Virginia Film Festival. But those are the nominees for independent film, song independent film. What do you think of this, Malcolm? I know you were kind of eager to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like other ones I want to talk about. I was really surprised to see the New Zealand movie make it in here. I didn't real like. I don't know if the music media have the whole like it has to play in America and all that stuff, but I was surprised to see this pop up because like I mean, admittedly, I haven't seen the movie. I have listened to the song though. The song is beautiful in that, and but it's one of those ones like I'm hoping this is New Zealand's submission for international features. It is in the Maori language as well, and from what I've seen of, because I have seen the trailer, I do intend to see the movie at some stage. Like it does look like a good movie as well. And I did listen to the Miley Cyrus song. I really like it. I think it's good. I don't know what the movie itself is. And yeah, I don't have much thoughts of the other ones because I couldn't find those songs.
Yeah, I can't speak much for most of the songs in this category, but I can speak for the last two, although I don't really remember the Sasquatch Sunset one that much. I have to go back and listen to that one, but I know I've heard it because I've seen the movie. But yeah, Beautiful That Way from Miley Cyrus. I just saw this movie at the Virginia Film Festival, and the movie itself is just fine, but I thought Pamela Anderson knocked it out of the park. She was exceptional, and I thought the song was really, really good. So yeah, I mean, out of the two that I've seen, I would definitely pick that one, but I have to listen to the rest of these songs. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, the Sunset song is like in the middle of the movie where they're just kind of going through their lives, doing their own thing, and having a good old time and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to say what happens in that movie, but that is a wild movie. It's just these Sasquatches living their life, but their best life. And there's like a kind of a fun like montage kind of thing at the beginning, in the middle of it, where they're just kind of singing and the songs playing and just having going through their. You know what I missed? I could have seen The Last Showgirl in Miami, and when they announced that Pamela Anderson was going to be there, all the tickets sold out, and my buddy wanted to go and watch football games, and he didn't want to take me there, so I ended up not going to The Last Showgirl. I wanted to, but that's what happened. So I never. But Miley Cyrus, I mean, if the song's good, there's a good shot she could get the song into the 5 come Oscar time.
Yeah. Especially she's making a comeback. She just won like her first Grammy not too long ago, and she's could get nominated, maybe not win, but she could at least get nominated for an Academy Award, and that would be a big deal for her. So yeah, I think something like that could happen. I mean, I could see The Last Showgirl getting into 2 categories. I could see it for Best Lead Actress for Pamela Anderson and for Miley Cyrus for the Best Original Song, because Pamela Anderson is deserving of Best Actress. That's all I'll say. Like, she is. All I'll say is that it does for Pamela Anderson what the wrestler did for Mickey Rourke. So
it's a deep category, though, Wolf. That's a deep category.
Yeah.
Best actor.
Look, it's one of those ones. Like, if Pamela Anderson can get nominated, I'm definitely think it's crazy. But yeah.
Oh yeah. We got song on-screen performance. We got Cynthia Erivo for Defying Gravity from Wicked. Excited to see that performance. We got Nicholas Gutson and Anne Marie from The Idea of You. Saoirse Ronan, Winter Coat from Blitz. Timothy Chalamet, Blowing in the Wind from A Complete Unknown. Like, makes you wonder, have they at all seen these movies? Because this is on-screen performance. Like, how could they have seen?
Well, I mean,
you'd
have to believe that they've seen it, because I'm pretty sure last year Wonka got nominated a few in on-screen performances as well. So they may have got some special screens, or at least got sent the clips of the song performances or something.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Malk. I think you could be right, Malk. I'll tell you though, if this doesn't go to Cynthia Erivo, I mean, I don't know what to say here. Come on now, that just seems like it could just be incredible. And Zoe Saldana, okay, I've seen the movie. It's okay. It's not great. Timothy Chalamet, that could be a cool performance. I think we may have seen a little bit in the trailer. Of course, I already said earlier, I like Saoirse Ronan's song in the other movie. I have seen.
She just kind of stands there, though. She's not like performing in Blitz. Sorry to cut you off. She's not like performing, like dancing in Blitz. It's just kind of standing. But I do like the song. Yeah.
I have seen The Idea of You. Did not like that movie, so the song probably just slipped right out of me. And I don't remember it, but I am seeing Wicked on Sunday, and I cannot wait.
Oh man, lucky! I really want to see Wicked. I'm excited after all the talks about it. What do you think of this category, Malcolm?
I mean, this is hard for me to talk about because I haven't seen any of these movies. Well, no, actually, I've seen The Idea of You. I vaguely remember that song performance. It's good. But I mean, the other ones have to be amazing if they're going to beat Defying Gravity from Wicked. Like, I haven't seen the movie. Like, I haven't even seen the musical. But that's always the big showstopper number. Like, I've seen it performed on Glee many times. And, like, even on Glee, they do bring a good performance into that. So I mean, I think it's hard to screw up that song. But
yeah, I have only seen one of these performances, which is Winter Coat from Blitz. I've heard the song "Idea of You." I've actually not seen the movie yet. I need to check that one out.
It's on Amazon.
When I can, yeah. I had a screener for it because Amazon sends me screeners, but then I just never got around to seeing the screener. I was like, shit, why did I do that? But yeah, I should have checked it out because I like Anne Hathaway, and honest, I do want to see it, and I'll be seeing the El Mal performance tomorrow. But yeah, I think the only one that even stands a chance against Defying Gravity is Blowing in the Wind. If like Timothy Chalamet like becomes Bob Dylan, and like he is Bob Dylan like on stage or whatever, I feel like because of his performance, maybe that's the only thing that could possibly give it a fight. But I think it's easy. Defying Gravity is going to take that one. Then we're into the score categories. And they split them up as well. So we've got score, sci-fi, and fantasy. We have Deadpool and Wolverine from Rob Simonson, Dune Part 2 from Hans Zimmer, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga from Tom Holkenberg, If from Michael Giacchino, and Red One for Henry Jackman. Red One is
right now, man. Don't be making fun of Red One. That score is heavy. It is pulse pounding. It'll knock you out. I saw Red One on Sunday. It is really a good score. The movie, not the best movie if you want intelligence in your movies, but the score was really good.
All right, I love Henry Jackman. He's probably the most underrated composer working right now. Like he's really great.
That's a good score in that Red One. Now let me tell you something. If this doesn't go to Hans Zimmer, what the heck are we doing? Oh, and then they try to say the score in Dune 2 was too similar to the first. It's like, give me a break. Come on. Don't be doing that kind of Bush League stuff. Just because he won an Oscar one time for the movie, he can't get. I mean, John Williams he tweaks all his scores in Star Wars all the time and changes things up, and then he'll come up with one new piece or that. Come on, stop being.
Return of the King. It won Best Score, and that like had several of the same beats from the previous two movies.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they have to make a big deal about this stuff. People always want to cause controversy. Stop trying to cause controversy. Go ahead, Malcolm. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, look. You could just play me the scores for Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 separately. I would not be able to tell you which score is which. They do sound really similar to me. But look, and like in defense of like John Williams there, well, yeah, he treats his like motifs and that. But I think with those movies, like I think they're different enough that they still sound different. Like you could play me various scores from various things. I might not be able to pick exactly what the name of it is, but I might be able to pick what movie from that franchise that it appears in. But I think it's just one of those ones like, look, I personally can't tell the difference between Dune scores at all. But they do sound really similar. But I mean, it's one of those ones like this is an interesting one because I really enjoyed the score for Deadpool Wolverine. Like, just with what they managed to do with that and just all the beats and stuff, like, and very like techno style music. I think it really worked for Deadpool Wolverine. So I wouldn't count that out personally. And I mean, I've also listened to that score for Red One. Like, it's fine. I don't see anything special about it personally, but it is.
When you're watching it, Malcolm, I guess when you're watching the movie, you hear the score when you're watching it, and you're like, "Dang, this is a pretty intense score." But okay, all right.
Yeah. No, that can happen. A lot of times is where like sometimes I'll watch a movie and the score is very effective in the movie, but then I listen to it at home and I'm like, it doesn't work quite as well at home as it did like in the movie. Like there are cases like that with some scores. So I'll be seeing Red One on Saturday, so I'll know for sure once I see it that day if I or either Saturday or Friday. So I'll let you know. But yeah, it's just funny to me that Hans Zimmer is sure good Hans Zimmer score this year than the Dune Part 2 one. Because a good movie, his score was kind of forgettable in Blitz. Like I don't know. I can't really come out humming it, can't really come out remembering it all that well. But it's one of those situations where he'll probably get nominated for Blitz if he's not going to get nominated for Dune Part 2. So we'll see. But yeah, that's one I would easily give the award here. I also love the Furiosa score too from Tom Holkenborg. He blends some brother in arms in there with some of the other stuff. Like I would love to see it go to that. Also, shout out to Michael Giacchino. It may not have been like a spectacular movie or whatever, but the score was actually pretty solid. Not gonna lie, pretty solid score. So that's actually a really good category there. Moving on to the next category though, we've got, why do they split up foreign language and then independent? That's weird. But they have score, independent film, foreign language. The Girl, You Know It's True. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of that movie again. And then Mongrels. Yeah, Kaiwahe Tunnel. And then we got Mongrels, and then The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Shadow of the Sun, and The Goat Life. What about these ones, Malcolm? Do you know?
I've seen none of them a lot. I listen to the song. I actually played one of the score clips as well because I went to do something, came back, the score was playing. And I do like the score in Farfight Tonu. I think it's great. I have no idea what the other ones are. Like the Goat Life, A.R. Rahman is a known name, but I think that's some Indian movie anyway. But I really don't know much about these other ones.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
Another movie that I couldn't schedule it because of time and travel. A Seed of the Sacred Fig. I would have liked to have seen that, but my buddy Brian did see it and he gave me a review for it. He didn't say much about the song, so obviously A.R. Rahman, we know him from I think Slumdog Millionaire or one of them. And this guy is amazing what he does with this various instruments and horns and flutes and all kinds of different things. And so I'm imagining that song's pretty damn good. The other ones can't really tell you. Girl, You Know It's True. Is that Milli Vanilli? Is this a movie about Milli Vanilli or something? No,
I don't know. I've never heard.
It actually is a biopic about Milli Vanilli.
See, but I tell you.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. I will say I've seen this film, and I will say the one I would have put here to actually even win is the score from The Girl with the Needle, because that score, once you see it, you'll know why. It is haunting. That score is really, really good. So, yeah, I'm gonna. They should have nominated that one. I don't know any of these other ones. I'm excited to check out See the Sacred Fig, and yeah, A.R. Rahman's excellent, but I don't know any of those other ones. So, for a score independent film, some of these ones I do know. We've got African Giants, In the Land of Saints and Sinners, Sasquatch Sunset, September 5. It's apparently pronounced September 5, not September 5th. And then The Room Next Door and Thelma. So, Dan, what is your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think the Selma score is like when she's doing all this stuff, like riding around on a scooter, going here, doing this crazy thing. I think that's where the score is really most effective, when she's doing all her wild, crazy stuff at Thelma. And then another one that I have not seen yet, I'll be seeing hopefully very soon, The Room Next Door, because I do get screeners from Sony Pictures Classics. So come on, Sony Pictures Classics, send me my Room Next Door screener. September 5, intense. I mean intense score in moments that are very poignant and very effective about what's going on in the movie. Once again, Sasquatch Sunshine, I told you, the music is surprisingly catchy in that movie. even though it's a wacky, goofy movie. The other ones, not really. I guess African Giants is a documentary about elephants or something.
Yeah, well, it would be in the documentary one category.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
But what do you think of this pick, Malcolm?
Like I listened to the film score, and it's really cool. Like, got a nice peak to it. I would easily make that one my ringtone if I wanted to. I tried finding the September 5 score, but I couldn't find that easily on Spotify. And in Land of Saints and Sinners, the score is quite good. So yeah, but I don't really have much else to say about the others.
Yeah, The Room Next Door. Unfortunately, I missed that because it was playing the exact same time as The Last Showgirl, and so I went to go see The Last Showgirl, and so I missed The Room Next Door. But man, I'm really excited for that one. And I heard the score is incredible in it. Thelma, yeah, the score is really fun, and they even have an emotional part of the score where she's like laying on the ground looking up at the sky. It's like that's a good part of the score. September 5, I'm excited to hear that score. In the Land of Saints and Sinners, I watched this movie on the plane flying to Salt Lake. So when I watched it, first off, the movie itself surprised me. I was like, great, another Liam Neeson movie. All right, let's see this thing. I watched it. I was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. And then the score was like really good. So I was actually pretty surprised with In the Land of Saints and Sinners. So yeah, I would honestly probably give that one the win now, the ones I've seen. And then what a wild name for a composing team, the Octopus Project. I just want to throw that out there. That's what Sasquatch Suns. That's the name of the Sasquatch Sunset team that composed Sasquatch Sunset.
Well, I mean, it's from what I can say, it's an actual band.
Yeah,
that's a band. Wow.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, the music is. I think that's a throwaway movie if you don't have the really good music in that movie. Have either of you seen that yet? Sasquatch Sunset.
I saw it in theaters.
Okay.
I don't know if it ever released in New Zealand.
Oh yeah, it's a goofy, crazy, weird music, but the music really is. You're like, wow, how can you have this kind of music in a movie like this? But it complements it very well.
Now this is a category we'll tackle at a later time, but apparently Bleecker Street is campaigning it for like makeup. Like they're really wanting to try to push it for like a makeup Oscar nom, and I'm like, that would be well deserved.
People, you'd think they were Sasquatch. They looked real, like real Sasquatch to me.
Yeah, I did not recognize them underneath it. I did not recognize Riley Keough. I did not recognize Jesse Eisenberg. Like it was hard to recognize any of them underneath their makeup. It was a really, really good job. But yeah, so for score feature film, I believe this is the they have score, animated, and documentary. So, but for score feature film, they've got Challengers from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They've got Conclave from Volker Bertelmann, Amelia Perez from Clement Docul and Camille. Hope I pronounced your names right. And Gladiator 2 for Harry Gregson Williams. And then Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 from John Debney. And then Saturday Night from John Batiste. 6888 from Aaron Zigman. So those are the scores in that category. What are your thoughts on this, Malcolm?
Yeah, so I did listen to the Blitz score. I actually really liked it. I've liked it more than the Dune score. It's one of those ones like a lot of these names like Hans Zimmer, Trent Reznor, and Volker Bergman, I think, was nominated for score for All Quiet on the Western Front, if I remember rightly.
One.
Yeah. And John Batiste, they're all sort of favorites of the Oscars too. So I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if those four sort of get into the nomination. I really like the score for Challenges. I think is really well done. Because like even though it's all techno, like if you listen to it, like it actually sounds like you're listening to a tennis match and with the scores. Like the score definitely sounds like it's something sitting one side bouncing back to the others. Like it's just a fun like creative score. So I'll be surprised if that doesn't get into the score.
Oh yeah. No, Challengers Challengers is still up there for me as maybe my favorite score of the year. But Conclave, though, that score was amazing. That might actually be my favorite score I've heard this year so far. I just really was impressed by the music all around that. One I'm surprised isn't in here. I rewatched it again last night for the third time, is The Substance. That score is bonkers in the best way possible. I was upset not to see that here. I mean, but they do have a horror film category, so they probably put it in there, but because they split it up.
I can confirm it is in the horror category.
Okay, cool.
But we'll get to that.
but yeah, great lineup here, and the John Batiste score in Saturday Night, very like intense and really strong. Haven't heard the Gladiator 2 one yet, or the Emilia Perez one yet, but yeah, all these other scores are really good. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I've seen 8 of the 10 of these. There's 10, right?
Yeah, there's
8.
8. All right, I've seen 6 of the 8. Then I've seen 6 of the 8. Then, and I'll tell you right now, if Vocal Berlin doesn't win a second Oscar for Conclave, it's a travesty. This is an incredible score. I mean, incredible. I like the score in Horizon, American Saga. Like you said, John Batiste had a lot to do with Saturday Night, not just the score, but he played a character in the movie, and it was good. I haven't heard Gladiator, and I haven't heard the 688 scores yet, but I've heard all the other scores. And Malcolm's right. That is the Challenger score plays like a tennis match, and it's really intense and I mean, just really kind of interesting. You don't see scores like that very often. But Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, they always experiment, with their music, which is always good. I like to see different things. Emilia Perez, look, I think the score mixes in with the songs so well, you kind of don't know the difference between the score and the songs in some places for Emilia Perez.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be confusing to voters and people that might possibly vote for score and song, because they mix all the music so well in that. And I think watching the movie is more important than kind of paying attention to some of that type of stuff, in my opinion. There's some serious stuff going on in that movie, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Who knows? But I circle Conclave here. Vocal. Oh my God. One of my biggest pluses in that movie was the score. I loved it so much.
Yeah, score of the year for me. But what were you going to say now?
Hans Zimmer scored the first Gladiator, didn't he?
Yeah, the first Gladiator. Yeah, that was my first.
He won, I believe.
I think he won. It's my favorite Hans Zimmer
Academy Award ever. I think he won his first Academy Award ever for Gladiator, I believe.
Yeah. No, what I was about to say is it'll be funny if Hans Zimmer gets nominated for Blitz and Harry Griggs gets nominated up against Gladiator 2. And Harry Griggs Williams is one of those composers I've heard a lot about. He's never been nominated for an Oscar before.
Oh, that's good then.
If he gets in, that'll be his first time.
Well, that's good then.
No, he was actually okay. So he didn't win original score. He was nominated for original score for Gladiator. It won picture, actor, costume design, sound, and visual effects. But
there you go. I thought he won his first Oscar for that. I'm sorry. No, was it The Lion King? He won his first.
The Lion King. Yeah, The Lion King is what he won his first Oscar for.
Yeah, I got it mixed up. Yep.
Pretty sure. Yeah. The but Gladiator he should have won for because that's my favorite Hans Zimmer score. I love Gladiator score so much.
So good. So good.
Yeah. So I do want to say, like, I do want to give a shout out to also the Challenger score because that has become my workout music. I will literally turn it on just to work out too. It just gets me pumped up. It's so great.
Yeah. One thing I will give credit to the Hollywood Music and Media Awards is they do a good job of balancing it out so you don't get like multiple nominations in different categories. They give love to a lot of different movies.
Oh yeah, because they split it up into so many different kind of categories. Same with like the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards because they got stuff like best archival doc, best biographical doc, best this and that. So they split it up in really good ways like that. But for a score for horror film, we have Quiet Place Day 1, Hereafter, Long Legs, Nosferatu, Speak No Evil, and The Substance. Oh man, sorry for the Nosferatu one, but it'll get to my turn soon. Dan, what do you think of these ones?
I'll tell you what, this is a banger of a list of scores, and that Quiet Place Day 1 score with no words in the movie. You have got to have a really good soundtrack in score and stuff like that to replace the fact that there's no words, or no words spoken, or hardly any words spoken, I should say. There are some words spoken, I should say, and it is amazing. Oh my God, a quiet. And then Long Legs, holy smokes, I love the score in Long Legs. But like you guys said, the Substance score is just crazy in such a great way. And I can't wait for Nosferatu now. I cannot wait for that. If this score is this good, I can't wait to hear it. But I've seen every one of these movies except for two, obviously, Nosferatu and Hereafter. So, but the scores, this is a really good list here.
Absolutely. What do you think of this list, Malcolm?
Yeah, I can only really talk in Long Legs and A Quiet Place. I do like the score for Long Legs. I think it's good. But yeah, A Quiet Place. And I'm not sure about because I think at least one of the Quiet Place scores has been nominated at the Oscars. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one sneaks in. But yeah, I do like the Quiet Place Day 1. I did listen to a little bit of the Substance score. I do like it. I think it's good, but I think it's one of those ones like once I see the movie, I'll probably appreciate it a little bit more. But yeah.
Yeah, it goes really well with the movie. It's very like techno and kind of crazy and wild for the movie that you're watching. But yeah, this is a all really good list. Long Legs score is fantastic. Quiet Place Day 1 score is great. Speak No Evil had a really good score. I'm extra excited about Nosferatu now because it's screened like a month and a half in advance for like certain critics. And when you screen that early, that usually is a sign that like you're confident in this project. And maybe it'll be. I mean, a lot of people are predicting The Substance is going to be the horror movie with Oscar love. Maybe it'll be Nosferatu. We'll have to see. But good year for horror. For score animated film, we've got Dragon Keeper, Out 2. Oh, Inside Out 2. Okay, that's weird. The way it was Variety, I was like, what is Out 2? But Variety, for whatever reason, they cut out the inside part. Like it's cut off. Like they haven't edited that yet. That's weird. And then you have That Christmas, which I haven't seen, but I've watched the trailer for it. I think the trailer just came out for it. And then The Wild Robot, and then Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. First off, All right. This time I'm going to let myself go first because I'm going to make a rant here. How do you have score animated film and not, excuse my language, not fucking nominate Flow? That score was fantastic, and it plays through like the whole movie. That score is amazing. That is honestly, if it like a contender for me for best score of the year, because the film relies purely on the animation and the score to move you because it has no dialogue. So how do you not nominate it for best score? That just that angers me. But Malcolm, what do you think of this?
I mean, I don't even and like I've only seen out of this list, I've only seen Inside Out 2. I've still got to get around to The Old Robot. I've heard a lot about it, but I do think the Inside Out 2 score is great. And yeah, there's not and it's one of those ones like I don't think it's anything egregious that's missing. Like, I mean, I don't know anything about Flow, so I can't speak on that. I was a little bit surprised, like, considering they've nominated a few other things that haven't come out yet. I'm surprised that Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim didn't sneak in. But it is what it is.
Oh, and also before it goes to Dan, I also just realized Memoir of a Snail that was nominated. And that had an amazing score. Like, what is going on here? Like, oh my god. What did you think of this lineup though, Dan?
No, I mean you hit the nail on the head. Flow is incredible. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they haven't seen Memoir of So I don't know. You don't know. Those are amazing score. Especially Flow is just incredible. Inside Out 2, really good. But scroll up a tad there. It's what was above Inside Out 2?
Dragon Keeper.
It was Dragon Keeper. Haven't watched
that. That was surprisingly good score. That is a surprisingly good score for a movie that a lot of people haven't seen. It's a sweet little movie. Obviously, The Wild Robot is the I mean it's incredible. But I have Wallace and Gromit in my inbox in my special Netflix account. I have not had a chance to watch it because I've been doing some fixing and doing some stuff in my house. And so when I got home from work today, I was planning on watching it, and then some things happened and I haven't watched it. So I ended up started watching the TV show that's in my inbox as well. So I plan on watching Wallace and Gromit as soon as I possibly can. I just have not watched it yet. So I haven't listened to the score.
Nice. Yeah, but I'm sure the score is fun. Those movies are always really fun, but I just, man, no Flow. That really hurts. Then we've got score documentary. We got Diane. Okay, god damn. I'm going to keep
Diane Van Furstenberg.
All right.
Diane Van Furstenberg.
Okay, good. Diane Van Furstenberg, Woman in Charge, for Allison Newman. Endurance, Daniel Pemberton. Frida, and then we have Jim Henson Idea Man from David Fleming. October, Hate. And then Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. And then The Dawn of Tiki and Will and Harper. So, what do you think of this one, Dan?
Okay, so Frida, Jim Henson, Superman, The Dawn of Tiki, Will and Harper. I've seen all of them. What's above Frida? I just trying.
It was Endurance.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen. I have an email where they say if you could request a screener for Diane von Furstenberg. I haven't requested it yet, but let me say it's you gotta love the Superman one. You also gotta love the Will and Harper score because that really kind of is a nice. It's a nice like compare compare not a compare and contrast, but it's like it goes with the flow of the movie. The score for what's his face, Will and Harper, Jim Tiki. I'll tell you what. One of the things I remember about that documentary is the music is very good in that, and it's a great documentary. You want to learn about something you probably have no clue about. watch The Dawn of Tiki, and it's got a mix of all kinds of styles in it. Very good documentary. I was glad to see it here. Glad to see it here.
What's it streaming on? Is it going to be streaming anywhere?
I don't know where it's streaming. I saw it at the Florida Film Festival back in April. So I don't know where it's streaming. I think it's one like IFC or something like that. One of these independent little, like one of them types. And they usually send a batch of movies all together in a thing. And you just go down the list and see the ones that you want to watch, and you can watch them. So if you're on the IFC list, well, you'll get a pile of films, all screeners, all in one batch.
Perfect.
Superman, of course, it's got Superman score in there a little bit, so it can't be too much of that, but it has to be original to the movie. So it was good though.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this. What do you think, Malcolm?
I think I haven't seen any of these documentaries, so I don't really know much about the score, and it's just one of those ones like I couldn't really find them around on Spotify to listen to a little bit of it. So yeah, I am intrigued to check out some of these documentaries though.
And you got to remember too, right, Malcolm, that Daniel Pemberton is a big composer, but he got jobbed last year for Spider-Man.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a big composer, but it's just one of those ones like I don't really see Endurance being the one that's going to get him in there this year.
No, me too. I agree with you, Malcolm.
No, I don't see that one either. But that's a good segue, because that's kind of like ends the song and score categories. They have other categories, but they're not like as important. So we'll kind of stop there and just kind of discuss what we think could become like song and score contenders from that lineup. And it's a good segue too, because we ended on documentary. We'll get into documentary after this, but what do y'all think kind of stand a chance? I'll let you. I'll go work our way up from the bottom this time, Dan. What do you think kind of has for original song and original score? Like, what are your like 5 from the lineups that we talked about? You could see popping in there.
I don't know if I could see 5, but I see that I want Will and Harper's song to get in there. Obviously, the Miley Cyrus one seems like she's a big name star. John Batiste has been in the mix a few years in a row now, so it makes sense that he could get in there. Did he do a song or a score? A score, right? So I like the Conclave. I mean, Volker Bergman to me could be a two-time winner, because I think that score in Conclave is incredible. But you hit the nail on the head. I think the score in Furiosa, and I didn't mention it, that is a fantastic score in very important moments in the movie that the score pops up in Furiosa. It's I would have look. I was in a guild. I'm not in a guild anymore. And part of the guild is they would send out a Spotify list with all the songs and the scores. You just keep repeating the songs. And then as time goes by, they would add new songs to the list and scores. So I would listen to them. But now I don't have that Spotify list, and it sucks, because that really helped me kind of narrow down. I would get rid of the ones I didn't like off the list, and I would narrow it down. That's how I would pick my 5 favorites, And I don't have that this year. So I'm going to need someone to create a Spotify list and send it to me.
All right, guys, make a Spotify list and then send it to Dan.
Yeah, because I really want to listen to a lot of the songs. I'm going off of muscle memory and memory of the movies and stuff. And I recently saw Conclave, so that's why that one's so fresh in my mind. But I do remember the Furiosa one. But I was crying at the World Harper. I don't know what to say. What do you? I mean, that movie was so good. Then that plays, and you're like, oh, the waterworks. It's just so emotional for me, that movie. That I want to see that thing win everything. But I also love Superman, so I don't know. It's hard.
Is there any stuff that you thought was like left off the list you would have liked to have seen on any of these lists?
It's hard. It's hard to remember. I mean, I don't usually. The song and score categories aren't ones that I just I gravitate towards. It's other categories that I kind of gravitate towards, like cinematography and animation and documentary and some of these other ones. Yeah. So I don't really focus on it as much like towards like until like Christmas, like the winter, because I've seen most of the movies by then. And then I start, okay, I got to start focusing and see what I want to nominate when I was in the guild, and I'm not in a guild anymore, so it's hard.
Yeah. What are you, Malcolm?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like for me, for song, like I can see one of the two songs getting in. If I was to put a bet on which one, I'd say it's probably Beyond from that one that Ali Cravalho sung. But then again, I wouldn't be too surprised if they go for the what sounds like it's going to be the You're Welcome style song that The Rock sings. Can I get a Chi-Hu? But I'll like it's one of those ones like I'll be a fool to bet against Diane Rowan at this point. And watch this be the year that Diane Rowan doesn't get in.
Doesn't she? But Malcolm, real quick, doesn't she have a song that's in The Fire Inside as well? And if that is trust me, guys, you're going to be.
Well, what wasn't The Fire Inside last year? She got nominated.
No, The Fire Inside is releasing. It played at the film festival I was at. I didn't get a chance to see it though, but it yeah, it's coming out in December, end of December though, like very tail end.
I think she's got a song in that movie called The Fire Inside. The Fire Inside might have been the name of the song in a different movie.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of a different movie, because she does have a song called The Fire Inside, but it was from a different movie.
Oh, okay. There you go.
As we mentioned earlier, the 688 is also coming out in December, so it's still in that prime spot for the people to remember Diane Rowan exists.
Yeah,
because she's always getting stuff. She got in for like, what was it, About a Woman or a plot or like applause for something like whatever that movie was called. It was like weird. Yeah,
and I wouldn't be too I wouldn't be too surprised if like Beautiful That Way and Forbidden Road, the Robbie Williams and Miley Cyrus ones get in as well, just to get some big names. And just as a personal thing for me, like I want to see Hold On to the Dream get in, but I don't see that getting in as much as I want. As much as I want to see a New Zealand singer on that stage, I don't think Hold On to That Dream is going to be that one that's going to do it. And then for score, I think like Blitz, Challenges, Conclave, like Gladiator 2, and maybe Saturday Night are probably potentially the 5. But one of those ones like that, like I'm not too surprised I didn't get him, because this movie came out really early in the year. But I really like the original song they did for the Mean Girls musical.
Oh God.
Look, it's one of those ones. Not my fault that Renee Rapp Megan the Stallion did. Like, I really like that. I think that's a great song. I'm one of the few.
I thought you were going to talk about that. I don't want to do a what if.
That's not a. I mean, technically, that's not original, because that was in the actual Broadway musical, so that's not original to the movie.
No, they switched it out. I thought there was a different song in the Broadway musical that they switched it out with. I thought.
I mean, I haven't seen the actual musicals. I don't know. All I know is Not My Fault is definitely an original song for the musical. Like, but it's one of those ones. Like, yes, it's a credit song, but I think that song is great, and I think like Megan Thee Stallion is kind of underrated as a performer. Like they've got her to do like the themes to SmackDown now as well. So
she's got a new documentary out too. So I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
What about a score? What are your kind of thoughts on the score?
Well, I mean, I did mention it kind of before that. I said like Blitz, Challenges, Conclave, Gladiator 2, and Saturday Night. Like, I think those are the more likely the 5. Like, as much as I want to see some of those other ones sneak in, I don't see Deadpool and Wolverine sneaking in as much as I wanted to. But
yeah, it's just kind of like a buddy movie. I don't really see it. I could even see it missing like visual effects because I don't know. But
well, I mean, it's one of those ones like if I see Deadpool and Wolverine sneaking in anywhere, it's more likely score or costume. Like those are the ones that I could see. Because I mean, like the Oscars do honor like comic book and horror movies in those lower categories. Like I just it's one of those ones like and with these categories I don't really see it sneaking just because there's a lot of competition and score and song as it is. But
yeah, so the only ones I'll say, like as far as like snubs go, yeah, Like a Bird from Sing Sing didn't play, which is from the credits of Sing Sing. I thought that was like really powerful, and they're showing you all the true stories, stuff that was kind of inspired off of. And then with I Saw the TV Glow, that one has a lot of original songs in there too. I was surprised none of the original songs from I Saw the TV Glow got in there, not even for like the horror film category, because I thought those songs were awesome. I would have loved to have seen something there. Those are the only ones I really can think of were like snubs to me, but everything else here, I was pretty impressed with. As far as like what I think can get nominated, like I think my 5 that I have for song is I have Winter Coat from Blitz because I think they're going to want to have Saoirse Ronan there. Obviously, the Diane Warren slot. I have Me Camino from Amelia Perez. I think that the Miley Cyrus one can get in there. Beautiful That Way. And then I'm going to go out there on a limb and say the 5th slot is going to please let it be Harper and Will Go West. I'm gonna say that as my 5th slot category. I think it's gonna get in. I'm rooting for it. I'm gonna keep on saying that until something tells me otherwise.
So don't have Miranda getting in for a song.
Moana. Oh shoot, I did forget about Moana. Oh shoot. Okay, so I would probably, in that case, I would honestly probably erase the Blitz song, and then I would put in Moana too, probably. Just because they're already going to nominate Saoirse Ronan, most likely, because she's in like 2 kind of Oscar-heavy movies. So I feel like they're like, oh well, we're going to already have her there at the award show. But like Miley Cyrus, I feel like that would be a big thing to have Miley Cyrus be there to perform.
Although to be fair, they did nominate Gosling and Sporting, and they had his song got there too. So
anything's possible there. So. But yeah, I totally forgot because I think Moana 2 definitely could get in. I think that Kiss the Sky should get in, but I just think this category is pretty crowded, and with there only being 4 slots, because yes, you already have to include Diane Warren. With there only being 4 slots, it's kind of hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like there's usually at least one animated movie that gets into song like.
And real quick, Ross says The Fire Inside is the Hot Cheetos movie. That's what that was. What that one was. So then for score, the ones I have are I think Blitz can get in there. I think Challengers I still have in score. I have Saturday Night in there because it's John Batiste. And then I gotta look at some of my other things. I think I actually put The Substance in score just because of how like different it is and everything. And then no, I think I would, because that would be 5. So I actually have Conclave and The Brutalist in score, but I think that is probably what my 5 would be Conclave and then The Brutalist.
Yeah, I think they released shortlist for score and song. Do they later the Oscars?
Yeah, they do. I know Amelia Perez. Some people are predicting, but I just think that like musicals do have a history of getting into score, so I might switch out Saturday Night with Amelia Perez because they always have a history of getting into score for whatever reason. Musicals like always do. So, So yeah, that one I might switch out, but those would be my 5 there. Moving on to our discussions for the Critics' Choice Documentary Award winners, since I know
I've seen every one of the 10 what you call it, the 10 that were nominated for best documentary. I've
So
seen all 10.
what I'm gonna do is run through all the categories just to make it faster. I'm gonna run through all the categories on my own, and then after that, I'll turn it over to you guys, and we can just like have a discussion on all the winners that we thought of and like what we thought about all the winners and everything. So, for Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, says Superman, Super Slash Man, and Will Harper tie for Best Documentary Features. So we have 4 Best Documentary Feature. The nominees were Billy and Molly and Our Love Story. Watch that tonight, by the way. It was very charming. Daughters, The Greatest Night in Pop, Jim Henson Idea Man, music by John Williams, Piece by Piece, Remarkable Life of Iberlin, Sugarcane, I almost said Super Mario. Oh my God. Superman, a Christopher Reeve story, and then Will and Harper. So those are your 10 nominees there. I just got to point out before I get to the other nominees, like this is a big year for like heartwarming, happy kind of like feel good documentaries, like Billy and Molly, Jim Henson, music by John Williams, Super Slash Man, Will and Harper. Like that's 5 already there. So it's kind of wild. Then we have for Best Director, Superman, Christopher Reeve story won. For Best New Documentary Filmmakers, went to Nally Ray and Angela Patton for Daughters. And the other nominees were for Frida, Billy and Molly, Our Love Story, Last Sea Women, and then Sugarcane. And then for Best Cinematography, you had Daughters nominated, Billy and Molly, Sugarcane, The Last of the Sea Women, which was winner, Will and Harper, and then The Blue Angels. Best Editing, you had Remarkable Life of Iberlin, Sugarcane, Daughters, Jim Henson Idea Man, soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, and then the winner was Superman, Christopher Reeve story. And then Best Score, you had Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, Daughters, Remarkable Life of Iberlin, Will and Harper, Super Slash Man, Christopher Reeve story, which won, and Billy and Molly and Our Love Story. And then Best Narration, you had Bad River, Billy, Molly, and Our Love Story, Dahomey, really fantastic narration that, by the way. Made in England, The Films of Powell and Pressburger, which I haven't even really heard until I saw this, and I really want to see that doc now.
Yeah, you know who the narrator is, though? You know who the narrator is?
It's Martin Scorsese.
That's Marty. He's the narrator. Like, it's fun. Listen to him narrate a movie the whole time. Yeah.
I'm like, man, how do you not give it to Martin Scorsese if he's narrating it?
Yeah.
But you have Queens. I guess the reason why is because they thought Steve Martin did a better narration job for.
Well, I like the narration, Billy and Molly, the Our Love Story. I think that
was great. Fantastic. Oh yeah, I thought that was a fantastic narration in my opinion. Then Best Archival Documentary, we have Black Twitter, A People's History, The Greatest Night in Pop, Jim Henson Idea Man, Made in England, The Films of Powell and Pressburger, soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, which I've seen, wasn't really my type of documentary, but the archival footage was fantastic in that. So honestly, I kind of would have awarded that for this. But then Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, won it. And then Best Historical Documentary, got Red River. Yeah, look at how excited the dog is for the Best Historical Documentary category. Then we got Dahomey, and then The Greatest Night in Pop won, and then we got Made in England, Films of Powell and Pressburger, soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, and then Sugarcane. Best biographical documentary, we have Frida, I Am Celine Dion, Jim Henson Idea Man, Remarkable Life of Evelyn, Steve Martin documentary in 2 pieces, and then Superman, Christopher Reeve story won. Best music documentary, Greatest Night in Pop, I Am Celine Dion, music by John Williams won. You also had Piece by Piece, Road Diary from Bruce Springsteen, and then Best Political Documentary, Bad River, Girl State, Porcelain War, which I've seen and it's really good. And then Stopping the Steal, Truth versus Alex Jones, and Sugarcane. And then Best Science / Nature Documentary, Apollo 13 Survivor, Billy, Molly, and Our Love Story, Blink, Secrets of the Octopus, A Space Race, and the winner was The Last of the Sea Women. Best Sports Documentary, Copa 71, Dynasty, New England Patriots, Mountain Queen, The Summits of Lakpa Serpa, Mr. McMahon, The Turnaround, and then Simone Biles Rising. Best True Crime Documentary, American Nightmare, Black Box Diaries, Incident, The Jinx, Stopping the Steal, and Sugarcane. I'm glad Black Box Diaries got in somewhere, but Sugarcane won that. Best Short Documentary, I'm Ready, Warden, Incident, Michaela's Voice, A Letter to the World, Once Upon a Time in Ukraine, Only Girl in the Orchestra, and The Turnaround, and Only Girl in the Orchestra won. And then we don't have to do the series categories, but yeah, what do y'all think of each of those winners and which ones kind of stand out to you? Super Slash Man, pretty much sweet.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these docs. I've seen. I have dates both for Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat and Black Box Diaries. Wolf. I have 2 dates which I can have I have to watch them at that specific time. It's one of those kind of things for those 2 docs. I cannot wait for those. Really, because of you, I want to see them both. And I got to find a way to see Dahomey. But no, I mean, a lot of Sugarcane and a lot of Superman. The Christopher Reeve story, which I've seen both of these. Sugarcane is just such a terror. I mean, just you watch that, you just like, dang, man. And it's just like this kind of stuff. How is this stuff going on? Like,
dude, I finally saw my IDA screener of that, and like, golly, that's insane.
Yeah,
I don't know how they did that. Like,
It just kills you, this kind of stuff is going on in the world still today. But Superman, I mean, is one of my favorite movies of the year. There's a good shot that Superman, Christopher Reeve's story could make my top 10, and Will and Harper could make my top 10 of the year. That's how much I love those 2 documentaries. I'm a big doc guy. I know Malcolm's not a big doc guy, but I am a big doc guy, and I love docs, and I've been trying to knock everything out ahead of time and get it out of the way so then I can start focus on international feature, which I always have hard time getting the international feature. So I always knock out all the docs early and try to then work on international feature. But yeah, I mean, is the doc branch going to go with the movies that what I perceive to be the good ones and most people perceive to be the good, or are they going to put these ones that nobody even heard of in there? Are they going to go with the feel good docs, the celebrity doc, the biography docs as they're called now, the Jim Henson, the Superman, Christopher Reeve, the Will Harper's technically not a biographical, it's like a road trip doc. It's going to be interesting what they go with or what's on the short list and then how that gets narrowed down to 5, so and there's a lot of good ones on Netflix. Remarkable Life of Bea Boleyn didn't really do that well, and I think that's a phenomenal documentary. Daughters is a phenomenal documentary. But, yeah, so, Malcolm, I know you're not a big doc guy, I think.
I mean, I watch documentaries. Because I've actually seen The Greatest Known in Pop, and I think it's really good.
Good doc. That's a good doc.
And yeah, no, it's one of those ones like I don't know if the Critics' Choice just don't nominate like TV documentaries, because I'm surprised that the Bray Wyatt documentary wasn't nominated for a sports documentary. Not that I'm saying it should have been nominated for like all the categories, but I think it should have at least been nominated for sports documentary. I think
Vince McMahon one is the better.
Yeah, they nominated the Mr. McMahon one, but they didn't nominate that.
Yeah. That was
but I'm not. I wasn't saying that Mr. McMahon wasn't good. So there was also a really good documentary.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would have loved to see the Bray Wyatt documentary. The Bray Wyatt documentary is really good as well. But yeah, just looking at sort of what's here, like, and it's one of those ones like we don't trust the doc branch to nominate celebrity documentaries. So unfortunately, I don't think like this was last year's winner of documentary at the Critics' Choice documentary was still not nominated at the Oscars. So I think Superman is going to go that same way. Will and Harper, now it's one of those ones that it's not so much a documentary about Will Ferrell, it's more about his friend. So I can see that one maybe getting in. And I honestly, Greatest Night in Pop, I think could potentially get in as well. Because that's once again, that's technically not a documentary about everyone that did it. It's more about the making of We Are the World because
archival footage mostly.
Yeah, like similar to Summer of Soul from a few years ago.
That cleaned up though, Malcolm. You're absolutely right. That cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I forgot to say, No Other Land, nowhere to be found here, guys, because it doesn't have a distributor. No Other Land does not nowhere to be found in these, and it's ridiculous because this is one of the best docs of the year. No Other Land. Go ahead, Malcolm.
But considering how many times they've nominated John Williams, it'll be a crime if the documentary branch don't go off music by John Williams. But once again, it's a celebrity documentary. I don't trust them not to nominated either.
Bunch of them this year.
And it's one of those ones like Piece by Piece is an interesting one because they could do the similar thing that Flea did a few years ago, where it could get into animated, which I don't think it will. I don't know too much about. It could get into documentary, and it could maybe get into maybe score or song as well. Like it is a good chance that that's going to be a documentary that could go in many different places. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see it happening though, Malcolm.
I wasn't predicting. I was just saying that, like, especially if they want, like, with the especially if the animation bunch want to go various different types of animations, so like the Lego-istic type of animation they're doing piece by piece could be different enough for them to go for it. Because while they haven't nominated a Lego movie before, I think Piece by Piece doesn't have the word Lego in the title, so who knows?
No, you make a good point. And it's the best Lego movie I've ever seen. So that is going in its favor, that the Lego is really animation. The Lego animation is amazing in it. And it's I'll tell you right now, it was an interesting doc because I learned so much about Pharrell Williams that I never knew anything about. And it really was kind of an eye-opening experience for me when I went and saw it. And you'd hear people talking to the screen in front of me, which that wasn't fun. But there was a song in it, not Piece by Piece, that I really liked, and I forget the name of the song. I looked at the list of songs. For the life of me, I don't remember what song it was, but there was a song in it that I really liked. So you could do it. It has that shot at the Flea, it's the three nominations like Flea got.
It's funny because this year we got this documentary at Piece by Piece. Next year we're getting a musical biopic about Pharrell Williams' life as well. So we're getting 2 Pharrell Williams related stuff in 2 years.
Wow, that's weird. Who's playing Pharrell Williams in that? Anybody?
Well, I mean, I think it's a fictional type of biopic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a musical based on his music.
Okay.
But yeah,
interesting. Okay. So I thought it was almost going to be like Better Man, where it's like a biopic where he casts himself. It's like that would be wild.
It's actually directed by Michel Gondry as well.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Oh.
It's Calvin Harrison Jr. that's playing Pharrell Williams.
Whoa!
Ooh,
oh, he's a good actor. Oh, I love Calvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good one. Did y'all hear that the King of Pop movie has been moved for Oscars? They they moved it later. Yeah, because they really have faith in it, which is really cool. Yeah, when it comes to this, I'm kind of in full agreement with you guys. I think that all of these movies, that all the ones about celebrities, are gonna just be looked under for not only because they're about celebrities, but also they are very heartwarming. And the documentary is a bunch of sad, depressed, like the documentary branch is a bunch of sad, depressed, like sons of bitches. Like they just.
Well, 2 of the ones you recommended to me that I'm hoping to get them is Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat and The Black Box Diaries. Both of them are the type of docs that the doc branch would go for.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was going to say, is because y'all were talking about Greatest Night in Pop and like that being like an archival one that they could do. But I think if they're going to go with any kind of archival footage doc, and I hate to get political here, but you kind of have to a soundtrack to a coup d'etat a little bit because it has to do with politics. But soundtrack to a coup d'etat does have some political themes in there because it has to do with like civil rights and all these different kinds of stuff. And because of the outcome of the election, I could see them doing something like really trying to push something like soundtrack to a coup d'etat, or the one that you just talked about, Incident. I think it was
big. It's got to be a big hot button, and it's MSNBC, and it's about immigration, and it's about Mexico, the border, and all this stuff. I see separation being a big one, but keep an eye out for like Union also.
Oh yeah, and I think we still have to keep an eye out, even though it's not here. Just because the documentary isn't here, nominated here, does not mean it's not going to get nominated at the Oscars. Because like I still feel like No Other Land is something we still have to keep a lookout for, because that's what I'm seeing this week, and I'm really excited. That is one that is just I know I'm going to love. And then Black Box Diaries, especially now because of the outcome of the election, and that's the whole idea of a man who is like a misogynistic man beating a woman kind of thing. Like it's going to have that kind of impact for people, and they're going to want to gravitate towards this woman empowerment message of Black Box Diaries. So like stuff like that, I really feel like a lot of these films are going, like this is going to be a very politically driven Oscars, and you're going to see a lot of stuff that is nominated due to the outcome of the election. So
watch the documentary bunch, prove us wrong, and watching us right now is like, it is all going to be like celebrity documentaries and shit.
Well, that's why I think Will and Harper has a legitimate shot because of the trans aspect of it, and Amelia Perez, and another movie which Malcolm hasn't seen that I'm not going to spoil for Malcolm. I think they want to. I think the Academy would be willing to push these movies because they're trans narrative to Will and Harper and Amelia Perez.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those ones. I don't know too much about Amelia Perez, so I can't speak on that. But it's one of those ones. Like as I said, like I think Will and Harper is like, it's not a traditional celebrity biopic. Like it's not like about Warfield's life. So I think because it's not so much about an actual celebrity, I think that does have a good shot to get in anyway.
Yeah, you're right, Malcolm. It's got, first of all, we got to see the short list or the long list or whatever the list is.
Because it's hard to come up with with something like this after just having a bunch of short lists. And I do agree that that Will and Harper, I feel like out of all the celebrity ones, that stands a chance because it's not just about Will Ferrell, but it's also about his like friend, transitioning and that whole story there. And there's like a whole that's very political. I'm not going to spoil it, but it does get very political in the movie, and so I feel like that's something that could benefit it. And then another one, I have this, actually, y'all will be surprised. I have this as like my number 7 to get in, is the John Williams doc. And the reason why is because the Academy has a hard-on for John Williams. I mean, deservedly so. He's got like 50 wins to his name, or 50 nominations to his name. But
this is like freaking China to the rest of the world, the doc branches. You can't predict what China is going to do. China ain't the music branch, the score branch, or any of that crap. It's totally different.
True. That's why they did that like weird My Country, My Valley instead of Won't You Be My Neighbor. Like no one even heard of My Country, My Valley or something. They were like, what's like, well, no one's even heard of that. And instead of Won't You Be My Neighbor.
Two other good ones that year did get in. The climbing mountain one, and Y2 the judge
RBG.
That both of them got in, and those are very, very popular docs. So they that year, the two that really were shocking to me that I thought was the Mr. Rogers, but also Three Identical Strangers, which was a shocker because that was incredible. But
I mean, like contrary to what Wolf say, like I do like the John Williams documentary. It's one of those ones I could see being the celebrity doc to get in, just because like John Williams has had such a big presence at the Oscars and that, so I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised if it gets in. I wouldn't be too surprised if it misses for the same reasons that we've said about the Christopher Reeves one. So I don't know if Christopher Reeves has had that much nominations at the Oscars anyway.
That one moment.
Not that I'm saying it's a bad documentary. I haven't seen I can't speak on it. I'm just saying, out of the celebrity docs that could get nominated, I see that John Williams would be the more likely one to maybe get in over Christopher Reeves.
Plus, imagine if the Oscars, because sometimes they'll do those montage tribute things randomly in the show. Imagine if the John Williams doc is nominated, they have a whole 2-minute montage tribute to just John Williams music and the scores that he did and such. They could do something like that as a way to honor John Williams and his legacy or something. So they could even do that with Christopher Reeves or something too, because of
it's one of those ones is John Williams actually retiring, or is he's not?
I think he's got another score in the bag already. I believe he's got a score for something coming out. I can't.
Yeah, he said he was going to retire after Indy 5, but then I think he then changed his mind.
He got nominated for an Oscar. Was like, oh shit, I got to keep composing now.
but see, that's the thing to me is if you nominate him for Rise of Skywalker when Avengers Endgame should have been the one nominated instead for score that year, or Fabelmans, which I was watching the documentary. He's playing the Fabelmans score, and I was starting to fall asleep just listening to that score again. It's such a forgettable score. Yeah. And then same with Indiana Jones 5. It's if you nominated him for those scores, those are some of the most forgettable scores of recent memory, and you nominated him for those. But it's I'm glad you did. But to me, I can't even hum a bar. I don't even remember it at all. And I was just it's one that if they did that, I see this love for John Williams, and I could even see that, singing in there. So that's kind of my pick. But I think the 5 that I had getting into documentary from when I last did this whole predictions was No Other Land, Sugar Cane, Black Box Diaries, The Remarkable Life of Evelyn, and Daughters. And I think I'm still gonna hold on to that, but I have Will and Harper and Dahomey and Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat as the ones that could sneak in there. I might actually take out one and put in Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, because I really do think that one could sneak in there. But those are the 5 that I kind of have predicted right now. But I'll be interested to see what happens once the shortlists come out, because that's really what will indicate on all of these for song, score, and documentary. That's really what will help kind of break these categories down for us and be able to figure them out and narrow them down.
I actually believe next week there's another documentary thing coming out. I think the Independent Documentary Awards gets announced. The nominations gets announced for that next week.
Yes, I am at. So it is on November, and that's Independent Documentary Awards, and this one is a different one. But I know that on November 19th, right now I have all the shortlisted films sent to me. So I'm watching all the shortlisted films. Yeah. But I'm a part of IDA, which is the International Documentary Association. And they're very big indicators on what, usually whatever wins the IDA award goes on to get nominated for the Oscar. For Sama won, Flea won, the one last year, that National Geographic one last year won. So they usually tend to lean that route for whatever wins. Doesn't necessarily win the Oscar, but gets nominated for the Oscar. So IDA noms, I think their actual list of 10 for Best Picture or 8, I don't know how many it's going to be, but their list of nominees comes out on November 19th. So that's kind of what I'm going to take a look at to help me kind of narrow it down more. I do want to say, though, real quick, on all the shortlisted films I have that I'm watching. So like it's the ones that they pick from, the shortlisted films that they have. Not a single one of them are celebrity docs. I want to throw that out there. Not a single one of the shortlisted films that I'm watching is a celebrity doc. So
that's why you can't really take the Critics' Choice too seriously, because
yeah,
so heavy on celebrity docs.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, if it's into like the independent docs, like, wouldn't things like Superman and that wouldn't they be considered big budget because they're done by like a big studio and that?
Actually, Superman is an independent doc that was bought by DC Studios. They, it was completely independent, Malcolm. And then, but DC, like, how can we not buy this?
yeah.
And that's why Warner Brothers ended up buying it. It was like, how can we not buy this? But it was a hell of an independent doc. If you ask me.
Well, and for the IDA, so IDA does this thing where they'll send me like this stuff called fall docs, where they send you other screeners earlier, like during the fall and all that stuff. And one of the screeners coming up on November 22nd is Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story. So they have that as like a fall docs option, but they didn't put it on the short list for the IDA awards. So it's like two different kind of things there. And so that's what makes me realize, like, I just don't know if we'll see any celebrity docs. And also, one thing I want to point out on the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, almost a majority of those are all like happy, heartwarming documentaries. Like, that's not going to happen.
Cane, not so much.
No.
Black Box Diaries, not so much.
But that wasn't even nominated for Best Feature at the Critics' Choice. Critics' Choice. But yeah, Black Box Diaries, that's definitely not one.
Yeah. So you got to see, you got to look through the tea leaves here and kind of look through some of this stuff and weave your way through to come up with 5 that you think could be predicted for the Oscars. Like what kind of a day are the documentary branch going to have? Are they going to have a bad day? Are they going to have a good day? What is their mood is a key.
Yeah. Like, are they just going to depress the hell out of us, or are they going to like make us feel good inside? Who knows? Because already, let's count the ones that the Critics' Choice Awards, like the happier ones that they did. They did Billy and Molly and Our Love Story, Greatest Night in Pop, Jim Henson Idea Man, Music by John Williams, Piece by Piece, Superman, the Christopher Reeve Story, and Will and Harper. That's 7 kind of heartwarming docs. And then
Eva Lynn's a heartwarming doc too.
Yeah, and Eva Lynn, so that's 8. Yeah, that's true.
8 of the 10.
8 of the 10 were like heartwarming kind of docs. So like Sugarcane and Daughters are like the only ones that are more.
But Daughters has a good message and it has a really good ending, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got like, you know, your tearjerker moments, but
I think Daughters goes the way of Sing Sing, really, if you think about it. If Sing Sing does well, you could see Daughters do well.
That's one thing I mentioned, because when I watched Daughters, I said this makes a perfect double feature with Sing Sing. And so if Sing Sing can manage to pick back up steam again, I do. That's why I have Daughters still in my 5 for my predictions, because I think that it can possibly sneak in there if that is the case with Sing Sing as well. But out of any of the ones that are the more heartwarming kind of docs, I would say like Eva Lynn or Greatest Night in Pop, I feel have like the best chance.
I'll tell you what, Netflix, all right, Malcolm, you know better than anybody. You gotta pay attention to Netflix films, whether it's doc, animation, international feature, regular movies, whatever, because they're gonna campaign the hell out of them. So they got 3 big docs that they're campaigning the hell out of. Eva Lynn, Will and Harper, and Daughters. And trust me, I've already been
4, because Greatest Night in Pop as well.
Oh, that's right. The Greatest Night in Pop as well. So they can take 4 of the slots, and then you can put Sugarcane in there. Boom, boom, boom. There's your 5 nominees. You don't know. Superman's on the cutting floor. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, on that same note, like they're probably going to pick 1 or 2 to put a lot of campaign behind, like because there's trying to juggle multiple different movies. It can either go really well for you or really backfire on you. So, and I think Netflix is not stupid yet, because they probably got like a other movie that they want to campaign for, like feature film and that as well. So it's like they're probably going to pick like, well, we'll campaign Will and Harper for documentary. We'll probably also campaign these ones, but like we'll put all our effort behind this one, and then yeah.
I agree, Malcolm. I actually agree 100% with what you're saying. The regional guilds are going to, in these LA awards and New York awards and stuff, are going to start giving Netflix the roadmap on what to push. And if Will and Harper does good, or if the Greatest Night in Pop does good, or Dollars does good, or Evelyn does good, whatever, they'll start putting money behind that. That's what happened with My Octopus Teacher. It just started doing so well with all the regional guilds and stuff. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this thing wins the Academy Award for Best Documentary. But people were watching it like, wow, this thing's incredible. It's gorgeous. It's got a great message about nature and love of creatures and all kinds of stuff. But it was gorgeous. That was part of it.
I want to throw out a wild. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I want to preface that. I'm not saying this is going to happen at all, because I have 2 Netflix documentaries in my predictions. But what if this happens, that they have so many, they have 4 that they're trying to campaign, that they all cancel each other out?
I hope not.
And we don't get any Netflix docs this year.
There's a chance of that happening, though. Well, you're right. There's a chance that could happen. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say. Like, Netflix is not stupid. They're going to try and make it so they don't cancel themselves. If they want to get nominated, at least once.
Oh yeah. They'll at least try their best to focus on the one that I think now, after its win, this Critics' Choice win, I do think the one that they're really going to push for the hardest is Will and Harper. I think that's going to be the one that Netflix is going to like really campaign the hardest. Especially
with the fact that they got Song. They have a potential for Song. You know what I mean?
So like I'm actually hoping they push that one the hardest, because if they do, then that means they can potentially get Song and documentary and be a 2-time Oscar nominee. But so yeah, I'm probably going to add Will and Harper to my predictions tonight then for that. But Evelyn, I could see that, honestly. I might actually replace Evelyn with Will and Harper, because I could actually see that one unfortunately missing. That's one I feel like it's just kind of gone quietly under the radar. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it, and it's just kind of one that
I really liked it, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a great doc. It's just not like getting the discussions it really needs to get that 5th slot or anything. So I think Daughters, like, there's potential that can make it. There's potential it misses because it came out so early in the year. Who knows? I know that's not really a big factor when it comes to these categories, but that could be a factor here. Same with Greatest Night in Pop. Like, that came out super early in the year. So we'll just have to kind of wait it out. But let us all know down below, guys, what documentaries are y'all looking forward to? If any. I'm a big docs guy. I'm a guild member for docs. I love documentaries. So let us know down below which ones you're most excited about. And also, with the Hollywood Musical Media Awards, let us know your predictions for like score, song, what you guys are looking forward to hearing there when it comes to those compositions and songs and such. And before we go, Malcolm, where can people find you?
You can find me on Tayfu Productions, hosting Rankin every Sunday night. Next week, we're talking about Top 12 J.K. Simmons movies, which should be quite interesting because we haven't had a lot of leading stuff. But you can also find me on my own personal channel, Middle Earth Media, as I'll be chatting with Austin. We'll be going to be talking about the WCW Sold Out from '98. And then I pop up here and there on the Movie Hero Network.
Perfect. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, you can find me right there. It's from thefourthrow.com, where I am the owner, editor-in-chief, and head film critic of fromthefourthrow.com. I'm a film critic in Central Florida. And also, I have an awards podcast with my co-host, Louis Mendez, called Real Consideration, which Wolf has been on and Malcolm will be on in the near future. So we break down the categories and what we think could get nominated. We create lists, and then we edit those lists as the year goes on. So we've been doing that with Best Picture all along, and it's a fun kind of game that we've been playing. So if you want to hear some people talk about the awards really in depth, talk about the awards season, Real Consideration is the podcast for you. Also, I'm over at the Movie Hero Network occasionally as well on tier rankers. Right now, we're in the middle of the TV tier ranker. We're doing the entire history of television. We're going to get down to the best television shows of all time eventually, and then Malcolm's part of that. Also, I do movie fights with them over there as well. I know Wolf, you're a big part of the Movie Hero Network. Also, I have some friends called Stephen and Andrew on the physical Chasing Labels channel. That's pretty much a physical media channel about Blu-rays and DVDs and 4Ks and stuff like that. But those guys are pretty cool, and I do some stuff with them. Also, I've been over with the Dill Pickle Network with Chad and Dylan. They have a show called Picture This that's fantastic. Been on there 5 times. Malcolm's been on there twice. Doesn't mean I'm better than him. It just so happens that I've been on there 5 times. He's only been on there twice. But that's, if you like your awards, they revisit the Academy Awards. It's a great show. I've done some trivia over there. Also, I've been on, I think, Malcolm, have you posted that trivia match yet that I had with you in Full Metal Trivia? Or was it
not yet. I'm probably going to drop it within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, yeah, I did a trivia match over at Malcolm's Full Metal Trivia. So I'm all over the place. You can find me everywhere. And occasionally I just pop in here with Wolf and shoot the crap with him.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, check out all their stuff. Take 3 Productions. They do excellent rank 'em videos, and you'll see me on there occasionally. And yeah, you'll see me on Real Consideration. And also check out FromTheFourthRow.com. Dan writes some really great reviews there. So definitely, I have them linked in the comments below or in the description below, so you guys can check them out. But yeah, you guys can find me here on my YouTube channel, Mega Movies, of course. Subscribe, like this video for all sorts of awards coverage. Next week, we're going to be talking about Amelia Perez on Awards Roundtable and like the Oscar predictions that we think they can get, as well as the IDA nominations at that time, because they'll be out. So that's kind of going to be next week's. And then the week after that, we're going to have a whole Gladiator 2 or Liquidator, I guess you can call it Gladiator 2 and Wicked kind of reviews / Oscar predictions kind of video that we're going to do for the following week. So we're really kicking off Awards Roundtable. We're going to keep on doing this weekly for you guys now that we're in the heat of award season. So we're excited about that. Also, with Thanksgiving coming up, I have some fun holiday stuff coming up for you guys. So be on the lookout for a bunch of really good stuff on the channel. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. From Wolfman, from Malcolm, from Dan, we'll see you all next time. And until then, stay classy, my friends, and keep on watching those movies.